Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the International GT Open. Race 1 of the Paul Ricard weekend. We are firmly within the second half of the season. 70 minutes of racing now await us. And here at Le Castellet, we have got a mean-spirited championship fight. It is looking ever so close, though at the moment it's Tom Empson and Tom Leben. 3 wins in their last 4 races. And overall, we have seen an incredibly competitive championship that has led to us having multiple different winners through the course of this campaign. It has been a phenomenal run so far, and in total, 4 different winners have gone on to stick themselves on the top step of the podium. 3 wins, though, as I said, for Elite Motorsport. Christian Mansell, Maxi Goertz arriving in second in the championship at the moment. 13 points between the top 2 in the standings. Dean McDonald, Zach Meekin third, but of course Dean not here because he is away elsewhere. Instead, it'll be Joseph Loke taking up the seat alongside Zach Meekin, and Alex Fontana, Pietro Armani fourth in the championship after laying claim to their 2nd win of the season back at Hungaroring to open up the Budapest weekend. Still a lot more to come, though. We have still got Hockenheim, Monza and Barcelona to come after this, but we are now setting our sights on Paul Ricard. It is going to be a close contest, as I've already said. And big breaking news coming in as well through the realms of GT Open and GT Sport. The calendar, of course, being unveiled now, so we know where we are going to next year. We're kicking things off at Portimao for the start of next season. That will be in April. We then head to Spa for round 2. Now, get this. We're heading back to Silverstone. For the first time since 2019, we go to the Earl Grey of World Motorsport in May, and then it's Hockenheim Ring, Hungaroring, Circuit Paul Ricard, Monza for the penultimate round, and then the last and the grand finale race will be at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. GT Open 500s will be at Spa and Monza, of course, as they always are for next season. George Morgan here in the commentary box as the sun beams down. It's getting warmer. Chris alongside me. Chris Stevens, hello, how you doing?
Hey, George. I mean, so excited for this one. It's a late start here. The sun is starting to dip, which means the temperature is finally starting to dip as well, down to a crisp 35 degrees ambient temperature and 54 on the track. But the fans are flooding in as well, still heading for the annual rooftop party that's held here at Circuit Paul Ricard on this weekend. And so they will be not only enjoying a soundtrack of Wob Wob dance music, but also to the soundtrack of GT3 as well. But particularly, George, I'm excited about the fact that in qualifying we had 3 different manufacturers separated by 97 thousandths of a second. The Aston Martin of Johnny Adams starting on pole position this one. First time we've seen an Aston on pole in this championship in years. Ben Tuck in the Almanar Ferrari in second, and Joseph Loke on his first appearance in the championship, subbing for Dean McDonald in the Greystone McLaren that's fighting for the championship, don't forget, in 3rd position. Less than a 1/10 of a second separating those 3 drivers.
Yeah, not a lot between them. It's going to be a mean run down through towards turn 1. Plenty of fans as well watching in the grandstands. Johnny Adam, though, on pole position alongside Ben Tuck is a very tantalising affair that we're going to be, of course, we're going to get the opportunity to observe that over the course of the next 70 minutes. But yeah, Joseph Loke, phenomenal talent, now a McLaren driver, obviously fully fledged after appearing as a junior, coming in from FIA F3, where of course he was racing in single-seaters. I of course have known him through sim racing as well, and fantastic driver, and I'm sure has a bright future, and obviously here in the International GT Open, I would love to see him take on a full season with us, because I can imagine him being quite a strong contestant at the top of the order. First and foremost, let's take a look at our pole sitter, Johnny Adam in the 97 Blackthorn. Great to have an Aston Martin on the front row and on pole position ahead of this one. Charles Bateman will, of course, be taking over during the halfway period when the driver change window does open. But Johnny Adam, relentlessly quick this morning, which was tremendous. We also witnessed the return of Almanar Racing, and of course, our Faisal Zubair will be partnering up with Ben Tuck, who will take the opening stint. And frequently, whenever we have Almanar, frequenting this championship, they're always competitive.
Almanar we saw out in Misano, but David Fuminelli not available this weekend. So it's Ben Tuck, who is alongside Al-Faisal Al-Zubair, and that's going to be a very rapid car indeed. Something I've just noticed, actually, George, it's British drivers all inside the top 4 with Tom Henson there as well. In the championship leading, Elite Ferrari 296. And we also have 6 different manufacturers inside the top 7 as well, because behind them we have the Lamborghini of Leonardo Moncini, Scuderia Villorbe Corsa, showing quite a bit of pace in qualifying. Then comes the Mercedes of Dominic Baumann and the Porsche of Alexander Fuck as well. So a wonderful mix of machines inside the top 10 as well. But we have to go a little bit further back to see some of our other championship protagonists, the likes of Pietro Armani in the 911 from ZRS and Christian Mansell in the 71 Motorpark car. They're sharing the 5th row of the grid. So they've got a little bit of work to do in this race, and it's going to be a scorcher.
It is going to be a scorcher. Alexander Faku, of course, who's been a strong, stern contender through the course of the championship. And, of course, I'd imagine they'll be setting their sights on a big result once again today. They were actually aiming for overall success back at Misano. There was, certainly an opportunity for them to do very well in terms of achieving an overall podium. It was absolutely sensational. And, obviously, they are strong contestants in the Pro-Am Championship. Elsewhere, we do have some other big players. Vincent Abril, fresh from delivering Laurent de Meus his first ever International GT Open Pro-Am victory last time out in Budapest. A feel-good factor moment for everybody. Pietro Armani, who of course won here last year in the GT Cup Europe Championship in race 1. He'll be hoping lightning can strike twice now that he's moved up to GT3 competition.
Christian Mansell getting some advice from Maxi Goetz, who now has 100 podiums to his name with Mercedes, courtesy of their podium finish last time out in Budapest. So congratulations to Maxi Goetz. And Mercedes also recently celebrating their 1,000th customer victory. 497 different drivers have won with the AMG over the years. So thanks to Aline from Mercedes for those little stats. And the first one was back in 2012, and a name we know very well, Chris Haase, helping to deliver that one alongside Thomas Jaeger in a VLN race. But very different complexion to the Mercedes outfit these days. Yeah,
we briefly caught Dylan Hedler, who comes in from the USA alongside Alessandro Balzan. He, of course, competed in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo and in North America, becoming champion 2 years ago. Rafael Duran, different partner today. Of course, David Perel will be alongside him with Tommaso Mosca's absence. We then have Sue Mazur lining up for the Sendum Racing team, starting 15th on the grid and also representing in the AM class. A very strong AM effort, strong qualifying effort from him. And then we move down to his fellow contender in AM class, Andre Lewandowski, who unfortunately, I think, caught Joseph Loke a little bit astray in qualifying earlier today.
Sue Mazur in that car we were seeing a second ago, one of a few drivers, Piotr Vera, Joel Monegro and Darren Kell, who are all running solo in this race, doing the full 70 minutes in this heat. It's going to be a real challenge for them, I fear. So everyone else has got a driver they can hand over to. People like Dexter Muller here will be handing over to Yannick Mettler in the second part of the race. So a nice fresh face will come in halfway through the race. But these guys who are running solo in the AM category have got a lot of work to do over 70 minutes of racing. Yeah,
we briefly caught AF Courses Jaroslav Veselaho. He will not be with Thomas Neubauer this weekend because Neubauer is elsewhere. But we've got Lorenzo Ferrari stepping in, the 23-year-old from Fiorenzo Zivola. Who comes in from Italy, ELMS Le Mans GTE champion back 4 years ago now. The 777 Ferrari of Marcin Jedlinski lining up here this time. Actually had a little spin in qualifying this morning, but looking to bounce back here this time in race trim. Joel Monegro Reyes, the championship contender in AM class, one to definitely watch. Unfortunately, not necessarily as high as the likes of Christian Kozanowski and Sue Mazur and Andre Lewandowski, but work to do as we now pan across this very strong grid of cars that are now taking part in this Paul Ricard weekend. Definitely keep your eyes peeled on the likes of Dominic Baumann. He is going to be quick right from the off. Elsewhere, just look at the Olymp Ferrari on the right-hand side, the Lewandowski car, the Carbon by SPS Mercedes. You can just see there Dexter Muller and Yannick Mettler, of course, taking the wheel first, though, will be Dexter Muller. Getting some final words of advice and wisdom from Yannick Mettler. But before we go racing, let's check out the highlights from our last round at Budapest. It was a great start for Elite Motorsport at the same territory where they won their first ever International GT Open race 12 months before. Maxi Goetz and Christian Mansell also on the move, looking to persevere after some strong, going for some strong results, seeing as they haven't won since the Spa 500. Dee McDonald and Zach Meakin were also looking to challenge, but we eventually saw the retirement of the Elite Motorsport Ferrari. It was a win, though, a return to the top step for Pietro Armani and Alex Fontana, ahead of Christian Mansell and Maxi Goetz. Again, the Elite Motorsport team were on top spot, both Leben and Emson looking for redemption after the retirement the day before. It was a busy race as well for the car barn by SPS as the 51AF Corsa then made its way through up the inside. That, of course, the car belonging to Rafael Duran and Tommaso Mosca. The ISR Audi team also in more so their home territory, fighting for Pro-Am success. We also saw the Aston Martin spilling off from good speed around the final corner, leading to a red flag late in the day, which led to the checkered flag, and back on the top step were Elite Motorsport. And as a result of that, after that third win of the season, it is Tom Emson and Tom Leben leading the championship. 13 points ahead of Christian Mansell and Maxi Goetz on 74, but still plenty more races to come. The title still in full swing. Well, the race now about to get underway. Formation lap now gets started. We'll run you through, though, the classification, the starting grid for this race. Johnny Adam sticking a Blackthorn Aston Martin on pole position. He will be joined, though, by Ben Tuck on the front row from Almanar Racing Ferrari. It is Joseph Loke on the second row alongside Tom Emson and All Brit Affair inside the top four. And, of course, Joseph Loke bidding for a big result in his first start here. Leonardo Moncini in fifth, lining up alongside Dominic Baumann in sixth place for Team Motor Park. Keep your eyes on him. He's going to be quick with Alexander Fack, who has been unbelievable in Pro-Am class. Being joined by fellow Pro-Am candidate Vincent Abril, fresh off the back of their win back at Budapest. Pietro Armani, also a winner at Budapest, ninth place ahead of Christian Mansell from Team Motor Park. Slightly disappointed with the qualifying performance this morning. Libor Milotta down in 11th ahead of Rinaldi Racing's Dylan Medler in 12th on the 6th row of the grid. Move down to row 7, and it's Christian Korzanowski in 13th, who picked up his first win of the season as well in AM class last time out, with Rafael Duran in 14th place, of course, with David Parrell alongside him. So in Mazur lines up in 15th for Sendam Racing alongside Andrei Lewandowski in 16th for Baron Motorsport team. Then head down to row 9, where Jaroslav Veselaho starts in 17th place. We'll be handing over to Lorenzo Ferrari with Dexter Muller alongside him in 18th spot for Carbahn. Khalifa Letlarka in 19th for Inter Africa by Dragon Racing. He lines up alongside PTT BMW Hubert Darmetko, kicking things off for them. Marcin Jedlinski starts in 21st with Joel Monegro Reyes challenging for the AM title this year in 22nd. Marcello Hahn in 23rd for AF Corsa, and then Michael Blanchimont is there for Santaloc as well. Pato Vera going solo here today for Good Speed Racing, bouncing back, or looking to anyway, after the crash last time out in 25th, 26th. 27th next we have Alfredo Hernandez ahead of Norikazu Shibata in 28th. Lars Engelbrecht Pedersen 29th. Andre Borodin starts from the back of the grid for Greystone GT. So the tyres now getting warmed up, and it will be Johnny Adam leading the line, and of course don't forget Ben Tuck as well. Fascinating affair though, Chris, and bear in mind it's anyone's race, I would say, here today.
Both of those top two cars unhandicapped, but of course the pole car is a Pro-Am car, so those cars with the blue number on their background on the graphics. Libor Milotta is the first AM runner, driver in that category, in 4th position in the cars, 11th overall. So keep an eye on that ebb and flow in the second part of the race. In that championship, it is still Alexander Fark who leads the way. He's got a 15-point lead now over Karol Bash and Marcin Jedlinski. So he's going to be one to watch, but he's going to get a bit of grief, I think, from the Blackthorn car throughout this race. In the AM category, only 2 points between Adrian Lewandowski and Joel Monegro at the head of the field. But keep an eye on the Blau car as well. Marcello Hahn and Galid Osman, only 3 points back from them as well, and they are well in the fight here for this race.
Absolutely, folks. 70 minutes of racing to take us through right to the checkered flag. And it's Johnny Adam, Ben Tuck, your front row. It's the Aston Martin on pole position on the right-hand side of your screen as you're looking at it. We take a look in the garage. Greystone GT hoping for a big run from Joseph Loke, and in turn from Zach Meakin when the driver change window opens up. But Johnny Adam alongside Ben Tuck around the final corner at Pond Corner. They will then trickle down through towards the lights. Charles Bateman watching on pensively. You can understand the nerves are probably fleecing in a little bit now as they look to creep their way down through towards the lights. They glow red for now, but very soon, here at Paul Ricard for the first time this weekend, they're going to go green and put pedal to the metal, and it's go! Go, 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 go! Great start for Johnny Adam. Not a great start for Ben Tuck, though. He's under challenge and under the cosh a little bit here from Zach Meek, not Zach Meek and Joseph Loke on the run down through towards turn one, wheel to wheel, as they now come through the first corner apex. Elite Motorsport getting a real reasonable start with Tom Empson trying to counteract. We got Leonardo Moncini in the mixer as well. Alexander Fack just running off circuit ever so slightly. We're right on board now with Dylan Medler at Rinaldi Racing, and it looks, oh no, championship leader Tom Empson off the track, and he's slowing down, Chris.
And a big crash behind them as well. Cars all over the road, but dramas for the championship leader, and it's Dexter Muller with a big shunt. The Michael Blanchimont Santaloc Audi is involved in that as well. A really messy start to this race. We're going to need a safety car for that.
Without question, Chris, safety car, I would imagine, will be imminent right now. But as they sort themselves out, it is Johnny Adam who consolidates the lead.
Empson's parked.
Yeah, he
championship
stopped.
leader out of the race.
He's absolutely stopped. He is out of the race, as is Dexter Muller. There is some visible damage on that car, and it's looking like a very sorry sight indeed. So Yannick Mettler won't even get a chance behind the wheel when the driver change window does open up. And it's not the, well, there's the treble 7 Ferrari as well of Marcin Jedlinski.
And that was a car that really needed a good result in the Pro-Am Championship. Still they're fighting. Moncini and Fuck, they were banging wheels going into the first corner. Dramas for the sister Fuck car as well. So Jean Monegro and Michael Blanchimont's trying to limp the Audi home as well, but he's definitely got a puncture on the front right there, but lots of suspension damage. Safety car deployed. Eventually deployed, so they could keep the cars running up until a point. But my goodness me, what a dramatic start to this race. Several contenders down.
Yeah, well, and championship contenders as well. I mean, we factor in Tom Empson, Tom Leber. Don't forget as well, Joel Monegro Reyes going for the AM Championship this year. And
second in the championship.
Second in the championship, and currently out of the, well, he is out of the race, and obviously won't partake in the remainder.
That's, 3 key contenders and 3 championships that are out at the first corner here. That's
devastating.
Significant for the championship. Let's see if we can unpack what's happened here. So Michael Blanchimont, Dexter Muller spun, or maybe he's had contact, I didn't quite see, but he's gone round and Michael Blanchimont's ploughed into him. So where does that pick up Empson? Because there must have been 2 separate incidents happening.
Right,
there.
hang on a minute. So let's take a look at this. So we just, that's Empson, I think he's just carried.
He's way up the road though. And Blanchimont clatters into the side of Jedlinski and Jean Monegro, I think. I would assume.
There's Blanchimont. There was a second receipt then sent into the back of...
Oh, Khalil Larka was involved in that as well. Had a big spin there as well.
But he was quite fortunate because he could get going.
What happened to Empson? Oh, look at it. Marcello Ham was caught up in that as well.
Oh,
and, big hit.
He was spun.
Big hit on the front left there. I'll be amazed if that's still pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, we could see a barrel load of cars out of this race now off the back of that. We had 30 runners coming into the first race of the weekend.
Goodness me.
But that is a mishmash. And I think, is that Moncini? No, that is Khalil Larka by there.
That's just a sea of GT3 carbon fibre. But what happened to Tom Empson? It seemed like he ran wide on the exit of 2 and then the car died.
I'm hoping that is not a re-emergence of the issues that they had at Budapest.
I'll be amazed.
Yeah,
I'll be amazed because they've already done 2 engine changes on that car.
Well, I mean, the last thing you want is another one. It's
hopefully we've got some onboards of people slightly further up the road that maybe can give us a little bit more of an indication as to what happened to the elite car. We've got 2 cars in pit lane, by the way. Colina Letlark has just gone past me, and Suin Mazur as well. Now that was one of the leading cars in the AM category on the grid. So presumably that car's been caught up in the incident as well.
Elite Motorsport had a reasonable start. Actually, when the lights went out, they were really competitive on the run down through towards turn 1. But really unfortunate for them, and that is a significant loss. I can tell you that Empson is in the pits at the moment. So at the moment, it's not looking good at the moment. Obviously, Blanchimont with a P against his name, Muller as well. So disaster for numerous drivers out there, and some significant losses from this race. Joel Monegro Reyes, as you can see, obviously like quite understandably disappointed.
Great shame for him. Mild relief maybe that he doesn't have to do 70 minutes in this heat, but of course that's damaging for his championship. He was 2 points back from Lewandowski, who is now up to second place in the category in this race now. So there is Tom Empson. And if there was a hit, it will be on the other side. So can't see if anything's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
What a mystery.
Well, the thing is, it looked like, from my point of view, that they were slowing down before the incident. Like because they would have missed the incident. They would have been way ahead of it. So that
it's two completely separate things that have happened there into turn two.
Yeah, had to have been.
No.
That's Marcelo Hahn, whose son is racing in the Euro Formula Open late in the day this weekend. So there's Michael Blanchimont, Santalok Racing, Audi. I mean, this is really unfortunate. Jim Pla having a word with Michael Blanchimont now.
What we have here is 7 cars that were affected in that turn 2 calamity because Sumazer, Kalila, Letlarko, the 2 cars that came into pit lane, they're back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, but
they are 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, I think Kalila Letlarko was he the only one who actually managed to make it out relatively unscathed?
I don't know if he got hit. We definitely saw him spinning and facing the wrong way. I assume he had some sort of damage if he came into pit lane at the end of the first lap, which he did do. Suin Mazur as well. I didn't even see Suin Mazur in the replays. We'll have to get another look at them, I guess, because there's so much happening in such a short space of time.
It could have been, whether they were concerned about debris, perhaps getting into the tyres.
Potentially,
maybe they wanted to check the tyre compound, make
Clear
sure
out the radiators, check for a puncture, that kind of thing. So, the safety car is leading them into the runoff area, one of the 25 hectares of runoff area at this Paul Ricard circuit that's made up of asphalt and tungsten metal. So as to avoid the debris fields out there, and actually taking one of the alternate routes through there. 247 different layouts of this Paul Ricard circuit. That was one of them.
Marshall's going to be exceptionally busy after that one. Obviously, John Monegro Reyes' car is still there, and whilst they have picked up a few of the others, obviously Dexter Muller's car was on the back of the truck. Looks like they are picking that one up and taking it back to the pits. But next they'll have to pick up Jean Monegro Reyes. So we're going to be under the safety car now for a reasonable amount of time.
So now we have to think about how does this safety car affect people. If you are one of the 3 Pro-Am cars that have got your quick driver in now, i.e. your Johnny Adam, your Vincent Abril, your Alexander Fack, then this is really bad for you. Just try and pick this apart again. So yeah, Muller goes for a spin and collects the cars behind, but we don't see Empson in that angle. I'm just going to try and look further up the road here.
He's up there in the distance.
Suin Mazur was caught up in that one, I think, but Empson, I don't see him having any kind of incident. The car just dies. He's being swarmed up already. He's the yellow dot just disappearing off the picture.
I would say that's more of a power issue.
That's a mechanical.
Yeah.
And that's a worry because that is the second one in 3 races. Don't get me wrong, the cars have been under extreme heat these last 2 rounds. This European heat wave has done so much damage. Not just this kind of damage, but we've all been feeling it. We were in Budapest 2 weeks ago where the conditions were very extreme there as well, and the car suffered. And it seems like the car's suffering again here in equally extreme conditions.
Yeah. The thing now that obviously elites may well be concerned about is that they've already had a nil point score after the retirement at Budapest in race 1.
Well, that's their second one.
That's their second one. So they've got to strive for perfection from race 2 tomorrow onwards.
Because you think that both Zalaris and Greystone used their one up at Spa. That counts as 2 because it's a double points race. And Mansell and Gertz, they've already used up 1 as well. So you're getting into crunch time when we start thinking about these things, because it will affect the championship when we get to Barcelona for the final round. And it would be a real shame if a brilliant team and a brilliant combination of drivers there was going to be undone by mechanical woes, because that team has been doing a phenomenal job.
I'd argue this has been really good for Motor Park and Christian Mansell from the standpoint now that they've now managed to gain at least some track positions and
then up 4 places in this race so far, and their nearest championship rival out of the race.
And they'll have Gertz for the second half of the race as well.
So that car's only got 5 seconds of handicap as well, so it's not going to be held back too terribly much. Following on the conversation of people that safety car is going to affect, if you've got significant handicap, then that's not going to be so great either.
No.
So the ISR Audi, the 4th place car in the Pro-Am category, that's the best of the bronze drivers in that category at the moment, has got 20 seconds after their victory last time out in Budapest. I need to go through some of these actually, because a lot of the cars that were affected in that incident do have handicap. I think the only other one of significance would be the Baron car, the championship leading car in the AM category, which has got 10 seconds of handicap to take.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Libor Milotta will be coming in to serve 20 seconds for the Pro-Am contest. Andrei Lewandowski will be serving 10 as well. So, yeah, that's going to be quite damaging for them in terms of the AM class. But we'll wait and see. It's a long way to go.
So 24 cars still circulating out there, 10 minutes into the race, but I'm afraid the vast majority of that has been under safety car. So who are the big movers and shake? Dominic Baumann up to 4th position off the line. Moncini and Falk seem to fall down a little bit off the start, but Baumann the big move there, 8th to 4th. Abril 5th, Mansell 6th from 10th on the grid. Then Moncini, Falk and Armani still only in 9th position. So other people gain, but Armani staying stationary there. Dylan Medler in the Rinaldi car, the guest-entered car, in 10th position ahead of Rafael Duran. It's still Christian Korzanowski, AM leader, but now with Lewandowski in 2nd place, and 3rd in that category is now Piotr Vera in the Goodspeed Aston Martin. Wow. We've lost some significant runners so far, not just in terms of potential winners and podium finishers in this race, but championship protagonists in both the overall Pro-Am and AM categories.
Yeah, very significant point in the race. Obviously, the safety car still going around, and they're going to increase the speed until the finish line now.
And this is a wonderful opportunity to thank the marshals at work here down at turns 1 and 2 at the moment, on hand to clean up that mess, because they have been suffering in this heat all day long. And so thank you for suffering for us, to help us go racing, because we can't without them. It's been absolutely superb effort from them on a day like today.
We can also talk a little bit more about the calendar for next year, because obviously it's huge news, isn't it? I mean, Silverstone back on the calendar for the first time since 2019. That is absolutely sensational. We've had some really great races there in the past. Obviously, we're looking forward to going back there now, and it's always been, part of the question: will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they? Will we be going to Silverstone? It's been, certainly discussed and hotly talked about across social media. Many requesting it, fans that tune into this series, which of course we appreciate every single one of you. And it looks like now it's going to happen. We're going to have it as part of round 3 of our calendar. So yeah, fascinating stuff. And just look at the collective of circuits. I mean, obviously Portimao, great way to start. We've been doing that now for a good number of seasons. Obviously it was Estoril back in 2022, but the season after that, when we arrived in 2023, Portimao has been the destination ever since then. Spa for the second round. We're back with the GT Open Spa 500, as we have been over the many years, or recent years anyway. And then Silverstone, Hockenheimring, Hungaroring again. We return to Paul Ricard then for the next round, and then Monza. It's another 500 race, as it often is, and then after that penultimate round we head to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the last round of the championship, which of course home to this series as well in many ways. A Spanish round to end the season, as it always does, and no question it's a fantastic calendar that we're lined up with next year. So yeah, you don't want to miss a thing.
Shame we can't do the Madring, because GT Sport, a Madrid-based company, And it would be a bit like when this championship used the Valencia street circuit before Formula One did.
Yeah.
Back in 2007, I want to say, maybe 2008. Can't quite remember when that first arrived on the Formula One calendar, but the year before we got there first. But Barcelona will do just fine for now. It's a fantastic facility and a great track to end our season.
Barcelona is exceptionally special. You know, we've had some great races there in the past, and you know, I automatically look back at the Mikel Pitamba defence, which was a phenomenal ending to a race, and obviously Dominic Baumann was obviously in the car for that one as well, for the opening stint, and it was down to Mikel Pitamba to bring the car home. It was absolutely sensational what he was able to do.
Brilliant championship fight that day as well, and we've had some great showdowns in Barcelona over the years. Very much home ground for GT Sport, but it is wonderful to be going back to Silverstone. Not just saying that as you know, a Brit. Silverstone is a fantastic circuit. Absolutely love watching racing at Silverstone, and it will be nice for us to you know, just drive to work instead of fly to it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not very often we do British rounds in motorsport these days. Obviously, a lot of
but Silverstone getting WEC, getting ELMS, getting all sorts coming now for next year and beyond.
It's a good sign, you know, I think for the future. There's certainly a British racing as well, but
certainly,
you know, it's it's great, and hopefully we'll see more British teams get involved as well in entering cars into that. Obviously, many of these race in British GT, for example. And
we're already hearing rumours about entries for next year, George, and there are a couple of very established teams that are eyeing up entries into GT Open, not just with a single car, but with multiple cars as well. We're hearing it across the board. Teams that are interested in the Euro Formula Open Championship, the single-seater championship that's promoted by GT Sport as well. But equally importantly, there are several teams eyeing up GT Open spots, and we do also have teams that haven't been able to join us this year as well for reasons beyond kind of everyone's control, really, that are looking to come back and expand the grid even further. And it's not like we've got a small grid, you know.
No, not
it's
at all.
Very competitive, very healthy grid, but next year could be even better, could be even bigger, could be even more colourful, could be even more mad as well.
Well, we've seen a periodic growth ever since the obviously we had the disaster that was COVID that came out and pretty much shut down everything, but obviously GT Open kept running, and obviously didn't have the grid necessarily as you would usually get because of the restrictions that were applied in due to the outbreak. But after that, 2022 arrived, and we got through that year, and we witnessed Leonardo Polcini, Benjamin Hites go on to take the title for Oregon team, and then we were back again in 2023, and that was the indicator that the amount of cars that were coming in, the grid was growing.
Four-way championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely, which was fantastic. You know, it was a great way to bounce back out of the despair of COVID, and I think it's exactly what the fans want as well. You know, is having a vast championship fight such as that, and then obviously went on to 2024 and had a great championship fight there. We always have great fights as far as championships go, and I think, to be fair, this year is faring up to be exactly the same, because obviously off the back of the retirement now, Tom Emerson and Tom Leben, the points levy that is going to be, well, I mean, it's going to sincerely bring the grid closer, you'd think. And, you know, there's a couple of teams still in this. Obviously, look at Motor Park at the moment with Mansell and Gertz. This is exactly the opportunity they've been looking for to really get themselves once again closer to Emerson and Leben. I mean, with 15 points, you know, at the end of this, I mean, at the end of the day, that would thrust them into the lead of the championship if they were to win this.
Oh, championship lead is very much up for grabs now, because it is, 13 points the advantage, isn't
if they win, they'll have the lead by 2.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of work to be done, especially for Maxi in the second part of the race. There are a couple of very quick cars in front of them that are unhandicapped as well, so it's not completely sewn up, but the championship lead is up for grabs today. Yeah. Only a victory will do it, though, for the 71 crew. You've got to think this is an opportunity for Dean McDonald's and Zach Meekins to try and close in as well, and also for Fontana and Armani as well, because Armani, because they are the ones not languishing, but they need bigger results in order to keep this championship fight alive.
The sad thing for Dean McDonald, because he's missing out today, is that obviously Zach Meekin's going to ultimately overtake him in the championship.
Yes, he'll fight for the title solo now, but still with Dean alongside him, obviously. You know,
I mean, I suppose Dean would count it as a win for him if he helps Zach to the title.
The record books might not show it, but we'll all know. We'll all think of it like that. Really great news. Safety car is coming in this lap, so the safety car will pick up its speed now to help the drivers get the tyres up to temperature. What a lengthy clean-up, a good more than 15 minutes to get that car, to get all those cars, and the debris cleared, but a wonderful job, again, done by the marshals, helping us go racing, and we can now do so.
Yeah, the race control letting the safety car know to increase its speed as well at the same time before we bring it in to then begin renew the fast-paced racing action. Of course, what a start it was. Unfortunately, ended in a calamity, but we've lost quite a number of strong competitors. But nevertheless, it is still Johnny Adam at the top of the shop at the moment. Ben Tuck in second for Al Manar Racing. Of course, it'll be after him, Al Faisal Al Zubair will take the wheel, has had various victories and successes in the International GT Open in the past, aligned with the likes of Fabian Schiller, for example, in the past, which used to be a Mercedes car that they used to embrace back in the day, and have now since switched gears and gone down the route of Ferrari. Elsewhere, Joseph Loke, the now full-on McLaren factory driver, fresh out of single-seater FIA Formula 3 racing, now racing in GT3s. He'll later be handing over to Zach Meekin when the driver change window opens up. The safety car lights are now officially off, and the driver change window starts in approximately 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So we are coming to crunch time very soon. But many of these drivers, certainly as far as the Pro-Ams are concerned, if the pro driver is in there, you'd imagine they'll do the majority share of that time whilst the window is indeed open. But it's going to be all on Johnny Adam to decide when to pull the trigger, and he's not waiting around. The pace now heating up as they come around the final corners here. Pond corner to sign off from the safety car as they exit out of that final bend at turn 15. The throttle goes down, and we're going to go and put pedal to the metal for the second time in this race now. And it's Adam who leads with Tuck, Loke, Baumann, your top four, with Abril waiting in the wings. Furiously warming up the tyres is Christian Mansell as they now race down through towards turn one. And look at this from Joseph Loke, cheekily up the inside, trying to tackle Ben Tuck right at the get-go here. The two British drivers not leaving sleeping dogs lie. Loke determined, and look at this as well from Baumann, but Loke very nearly losing it, and he might have lost a place, because through goes Dominic Baumann, and Loke has got a problem.
I think he's got a puncture, George. He's squirming around like crazy. I don't know if he picked that up by running too wide there on the exit of two. Maybe there was still a piece of debris there, but it looks like that is another championship contending car. Don't forget, that's the third place car in the championship with Zach Meekin. Let's see if it's looking a little flat on one of those sides. But either way, that is a slow-moving car for Joseph Loke. He just made the dive for second place, and it does sound like a puncture there on the Greystone McLaren. Goodness me, two championship contenders down in the first 25 minutes of this race.
Yeah,
and yes,
rear puncture.
Right rear corner. And oh, you got to slow it down, Joseph. You're going to do so much damage to the rear of the car. Not that it's really going to matter at this point. There is absolutely no chance of points for that car now. Unbelievable.
Well, what this has done now, further good news if you're Christian Mansell and Maxi Kurtz at the moment, because now they've been promoted to fifth, and they're chasing after Vincent Abril at the moment, with Dominic Baumann up to third. Johnny Adam and Ben Tuck still honing the top two places in this classification. There's Abril being closed up upon now. Just look at this from Moncini getting followed and pursued by Alexander Fack, who's in Pro-Am class. But one thing we know about Alexander Fack, class means nothing to him. He loves to take on these pro entries.
He's certainly got the ability to do so. Overall pole sitter back in Budapest a couple of weeks ago. That has been a very rapid driver in a very rapid car with a very rapid team as well. Their first season in proper pan-European competition, having come over from GT Masters, but the team familiar with many of these circuits from their days in Porsche Super Cup. But first time here with the full-fledged GT3 car So an awful lot of learning to be done. So that battle now for 6th position with the demise of Joseph Loke.
Good look there from Vac as they come down through towards the hotel chicane. You see Moncini under pressure. Moncini, incidentally, if you remember, actually had a tangle with Christian Mansell back in our last round when of course we went to Misano.
Misano, yeah.
Not the last round at Hungary, sorry, I got Misano and thinking wrong way around. But yeah, no, Misano it was. Yeah, got tagged and ended up spinning as a result. So no love lost there between those two. But look at this now. Alexander Vac eyeing up the defensive-minded Moncini, who had a little look to the inside, obviously just trying to curtail any efforts from Alexander Vac to potentially make the overtake at the chicane halfway down the Mistral straight. But a little bit wide there, the apex did Moncini. In the background then you've got Armani, who is twice a race winner alongside Alex Fontana this season, as they now jettison down through towards Scene Corner, where they will meet the in-swing in turn 10, lightningly fast, this particular section of circuit, which leads through to the Bousset. There is Vincent Abril, fresh off the back of achieving their first win of the season in Pro-Am class.
Scene Corner, named after the French town Scene, just up the road from here, the home of...
Have you seen it?
Well, yeah, we've accidentally driven into practically on Orica's front door, haven't we?
That was me trying to be clever. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't want to give you the satisfaction. Oh, look at that! That's
goodness me.
Still Loke trying to make it to the pits here, but yeah, I was going to say Orica where they build the Ferrari 296, but let's have a look at this again. Oh, there's a touch. That's where the puncture came from. There's a touch with the Ben Tuck Ferrari there.
See, we actually joined the action after the actual touch was actually made. So, it just looked to us from the outset that Loke had taken that line purposefully, but obviously not. And unfortunately, it's led to the rear right shedding the rubber. And therefore, it will mean a trip to the pit lane. And whether they re-enter is another thing altogether. Obviously, it's they've been lapped already. This is only going to add insult to injury the more they're standing in the pits, as now Alexander Vac once again pursues after Moncini. And almost pushing the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 around the circuit right now. In comes Loke into the Greystone GT section of the pit lane. And outside the garage, they're now going to observe the damage to see if there's anything they can do. But already the race is out of sight.
At this point, it's just testing for Armani, isn't it? So this is the Lars Engelbrecht Porsche, just getting past there. Oh, and into the side of the Suin-Mesur Lamborghini at turn 5. So the Polish driver being sent round. That was towards the rear of the field. I think that was the battle for 19th position. Overall, we had the Norikatsu Shibata Ferrari just ahead, as well as the Darren Kell McLaren, but contacts there for Lars Engelbrecht into the side of Suin-Mesur. Up at the front of the field there, Ben Tuck coming under increasing pressure from Dominic Baumann now for 2nd place. That is Loke out of the car, and seemingly the car out of the race.
Yeah, despondent as well.
Yeah, that is the Shibata car, isn't it? Sorry, for a second there, I thought that was the Rafael Duran car, but very similar colour schemes on those two. Of course, Ferraris, but yeah, this is Engelbrecht. Slam into the side of the Lamborghini.
Yeah, down in 19th at the moment is Engelbrecht Pedersen, and obviously needs to rejoin and regather. See, not ideal, because you have to question, these collisions can cause damage even for the Engelbrecht Pedersen car.
Pit lane is open for the next 14 minutes.
Mansell in.
Yes, Christian Mansell getting in very early, trying to find some clean air potentially. Also Dylan Medler, Rafael Duran, Jaroslav Visalaho and Hubert Darmetko as well. Those are your early stoppers. So Maxi Gertz now a 100 times podium finisher for Mercedes, getting aboard the car. Rafael Duran getting out of the 51 with David Perrell, or Coach Dave, as he's affectionately known online.
Very good setups as well.
Yes, he does. I've noticed that as well. They are very good.
I've used the Coach Dave system quite a few times.
Yeah, same. Subbing for Tommaso Mosca this weekend is Coach Dave, a champion in Blancpain competition, a class winner here in the GT Open as well. I think 2018 was the last time he competed in this championship.
I think he made a one-off appearance in the GT Cup Europe as well, I think, on one occasion.
Oh, that is testing the...
Yeah. I'll have to double check. I think it was over the last few years, because I remember seeing him in the paddock. We had a bit of a conversation. But we're watching the front runners now in full swing. Dominic Baumann with the fastest lap of the race with a 2:04.633. And he is currently sat in third at the moment. We've got further action now. It looks like Jaroslav Veselaho has come into the pits at the same time. So Lorenzo Ferrari will be jumping in. Alessandro Balzan has jumped in as well in place of Dylan Mettler. And they're going to be making their changes. Axel Jeffries jumping in to the Kalila Letlarker's Dragon racing car.
The 71 has come out behind the AF Corsa car. David Perel's ahead of Maxi Gert. So that'll be... the 5 seconds that the 71 was having to take there. The handicap, based on previous results, you get 10 seconds for the win, 5 seconds for second place. It's based on your 2 most recent results, but that is that goes to show how compressed the field was still, because safety car's only been in for a few laps. We've only had about sort of 6 or 7 minutes of green flag running since that safety car restart, and still 11 minutes left on this change window, and these guys up at the front of the field will just stretch it for as long as possible.
Yeah, Alex Fontana now jumping in place of Pietro Armani. ZRS making their change as well. Twice race winners already this season. They return to the top step back at Budapest, and now they're furiously making the change in a bid to perhaps landing a big result here once more to potentially hunt for their 3rd win of the season. They're very much in the same boat as many who are looking to hunt down after the Toms at the moment. And of course, points to be won here without question. The championship still very much alive and kicking as we watch Johnny Adam head down through towards the chicane in the pink and yellow colouring, as they now come through towards the second half of the Mistral through towards Scene.
The colours that were picked by Charles Bateman's daughter, because it was yellow and blue at the start of the year. No, sorry, yeah, yellow and black.
Yeah.
It was black. It was a yellow zebra car, wasn't it? But Charles Bateman's daughter wanting a pink colour that matched her Adidas trainers, I think it was. What the little lady wants, the little lady gets.
Yeah, it's a striking livery. It's fantastic.
No, it's great. Rhubarb and custard.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Adam. Driving said car very well. Ben Tuck has since stolen away the fastest lap of the race with a 2:04.350. So that takes it away from Dominic Baumann this time. It was a personal best for Baumann over the last lap, but not enough to maintain that purple lap. Elsewhere, Alexander Fack turning on the style because he's gone purple in the middle sector. So the heat now starting to be turned up here. Not that it's needed any of that, because of course it's been a warm weekend right through since the start, really, as they now charge down through towards turn 1. You can just see in the background Dominic Baumann. There's quite the gap of 3.7 seconds between him and Vincent Abril. A change, it would seem, elsewhere. We're seeing more drivers make their way out. Ollie Webb now stepping in as well. Joseph Loke, since now retiring from the race, it would seem. We've seen no movement from Greystone. Obviously, he unfortunately jumped out of the car. It looked like a despondent Joseph Loke, and I can only imagine, especially on your first day in the GT Open, a tough visit.
Alex Fontana is ahead of both Perel and Gertz. So the ZRS Porsche, the under-handicapped ZRS Porsche, has come out best in all of that and is probably in something like a net 4th place now, potentially. After that, we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out after the top 13 cars that is still who owe us a stop, I think, so or there or thereabouts. So still a lot of cars that have to come in. Still 8 minutes left on that driver change window. Still Baumann is looking at the back of Ben Tuck for second place as well, and trying to force an error out of the British Silver Class driver, winner of the Spa 24 Hours a few weeks ago in the Bronze Cup category.
Yeah, Grupo Prom in with Alfredo Hernandez now taking his stop. Fontana now moving up into 13th as a consequence, as the rest of the cars pass the pit lane. Fastest lap briefly for Maxi Gert, but now it's Lorenzo Ferrari who has collected it, and certainly a fast driver. We mentioned the ELMS Le Mans GTE champion back in 2022, also an Italian GT sprint and endurance champion back 5 years ago.
the Mikkel Pedersen car has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. So that was the Lars Engelbrecht contact we saw with Søren Mazur.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at it again here. This is what happened. Look at the Porsche at the inside. Pedersen into the side of the Sendum racing car. Unfortunately, Søren Mazur spun the wrong way round, but it has since been penalised. Has Pedersen with a 10-second time penalty. Johnny Adam still leading the way and has actually taken the fastest lap himself with a 2:03.970. The gap has extended out against Ben Tuck, but we've got the ISR Audi banging wheels for Christian Korzanowski on the run down through towards turn 1. Christian Korzanowski in 7th at the moment. Milotta trying to hunt him down over that P7 place and has actually done well to hold on to it, but Milotta not done yet. Swarming all over the back of this Olymp Racing Ferrari. Long way round coming through the hotel. You're never going to win from there, Libor. It is still Christian Korzanowski, but this battle's going to continue.
Libor Milotta, the top bronze driver in the Pro-Am category before the pit stop window. And Christian Korzanowski, your top AM runner at the moment. So bronze driver there as well. So even footing in terms of the gradings, but an interclass battle. So see again, then banging wheels down the start and finish straight. Milotta, winner in Budapest a couple of weeks ago. And we saw how much it meant to the team with the chanting and the cheering and all sorts of celebrations going on the podium. Korzanowski himself a winner as well a couple of weeks ago in Budapest in his category.
First time this season as well. Fair credit to him.
For both of them, in fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope they've got some paint left over in the garage just to patch up the scratchings that have been made as we now watch the Lamborghini of Leonardo Moncini now making his way around the track right now. Now we've got 5 minutes and 48 still left. Alexander Fack trying to push and prod once again like he has been doing for quite some time. This is a battle over 5th on track right now, but remember, these are drivers that have yet to serve their stop, so they're going to have to come in eventually within the next 5 minutes. I'd imagine they'll probably get maybe 2 laps out of the remaining time. The lap around this track, 2:03.9 was last recorded by Johnny Adam. 2:04 now, incidentally. So, yeah, it should be enough for 2 more laps, and then they can bring the cars in for their driver changes.
Sorry, there's a funny message that's just been popped up. A warning for both Milotta and Korzanowski about their driving standards. The race control wasn't liking the wheel banging. I mean, it looked great for us.
Yeah. Everyone likes a little bit of needle from time to time, but incredible. Lorenzo Ferrari here. Yeah,
Lorenzo Ferrari chasing Perel, chasing Gertz. These guys are nearly 5 seconds behind Fontana. Look, there he is going through the picture. That car has gained massively in that pit stop sequence then, more than even I initially anticipated. But yeah, Lorenzo Ferrari, the Italian GT champion, the ELMS champion, chasing after David Perel. 2 substitute drivers at AF Corsa there, going after Maxi Gertz, who missed races last year in what was his teammate's championship-winning campaign, Levente Reves, he was sharing the car with last year. But this year, he has been steadfast. No, I am committing to the GT Open for the full season with Christian. He missed the Nürburgring 24 hours earlier this year to come and do the Spa 500, which he won. And he's missing a round of GT World as well to come and do this, and he's also going to be missing the Suzuka 1,000 kilometers later in the year as well, just to make sure he's doing the full campaign as well. So that is a really great thing to see from Maxi Gertz.
Absolutely. Well, I think obviously, whilst he did help Levente Reves to winning championship gold, obviously he would love to do it himself as well. So, you know, it's no better feeling. And, you know, they are big players in the championship this year, as they all often are, Team Motor Park. And they're great for bringing the youth into GT3 racing as well. We mentioned Levente Reves. Now we've got Christian Mansell. And owing to their single-seater prowess in Euro Formula, you just never know that we got stacks of young GT3 hopefuls, potentially, that are waiting to come through.
That's a great system that they're developing now, isn't it? And similar with Elite, they've got their pool of drivers all the way from Ginetta Juniors all the way up to GT3 now. Moncini into the pit lane, handing over to Rodrigo Testa. We are coming up to the end of the window. 3 minutes left until the pit lane is closed. So one more lap maybe for these guys at the head of the field before they have to come in and do their start. Also, Libor Milotta in to hand over to Felipe Salacada. Now, I would have thought that they would have brought him in earlier, because that is the bronze driver who has stayed out for that long, but I guess they were just that happy with how Liebol was doing out there.
Well, he was chasing out, I mean, Christian Kozlowski's no slouch, and the fact that
very
he was
rapid bronze driver.
He was putting a lot of pressure on Christian just now. So bear in mind that wasn't as if Christian had just overtaken him. That was Liebol Malota outright fighting him for position. So dare I say, the ISR are in very good hands, I think, for the remainder of this race, because obviously Felipe Salicada, we all know, definitely a strong, a strong driver in this field.
They have got 20 seconds of handicap to take, though,
well,
so that is going
that.
to hamper them a little bit. Fascinating complexion in the Pro-Am race for the second half of this race, because, yeah, you would have thought ISR were going to be in the best place, but those 20 seconds is really going to change things. So are we looking at Fabian DeBianca and Axel Jeffries, who right now are in 16th and 18th, and then Charlie Fagg in 19th as well? Are they the ones we're suddenly going to look at in half an hour's time for the win? Who knows? We've got some quick bronze drivers that are going to be taking over these leading cars. Charles Bateman will take over from Johnny Adam. He's a very quick bronze driver, as is Alexander Schwarzer, who will take over the car from Alexander Fark as well. So, there's absolutely no guarantees in the Pro-Am category today.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of youth, as we now see our race leaders come in, so Johnny Adam had to box at the end of the day because we only had a minute or 20 to 30 left on the clock. So in comes Ben Tuck as well. Bauman in, so Marcelo Ramirez will be hopping into the car. Johnny Adam will jump out of the Blackthorn, and in will come Charles Bateman. We've got Almanar by Dragon Racing, Al-Faisal Al-Zubair hopping in place of Ben Tuck. So here we go. The final driver changes now in full swing. We'll see a boatload of others also taking their stops as well. But elsewhere, if we have a look at the drivers that are out on track at the moment, it will mean potentially Fontana will take the lead of the race as things unravel. But we'll wait and see when he makes his way through. It's going to be very tight.
Yeah, it certainly is. So we've got Ramirez getting aboard, Adrian Lewandowski aboard the sixth now, so the son taking over from the father. Charles Bateman, Al-Faisal Al-Zubair, Laurent Demeas, and Alexander Schwarzer as well. Kozlowski's only got 20 seconds to get into pit lane. He is in the final sector, so should trip the beam hopefully pretty soon, but cutting it very fine in the number 5 Olymp car. So back out into the race comes Al-Faisal Al-Zubair. That should be the second place car, yes, behind Charles Bateman, but that car now with a bronze driver aboard. This is a golden opportunity. Oh, wait, why is Bateman slowing down at the end of pit lane? Yeah,
he slowed down quite dramatically, and that's going to harm his momentum. This could lead to an overtake late in the day from Al-Zubair. No, he's going to hold on. There's Fontana in the background, so he's going to come out against the VAC Autotech car that has made a change. So there we go. That's the update. Alexander Schwarzer and Fontana are going to be together. I think Fontana got him. Yes, he did. But here we have the battle for the lead of the race. Al-Faisal Al-Zubair having a look up the inside now. Charles Bateman as they come through the hotel chicane. And Bateman really trying to block. All defenses are up. The shields are raised here against Al-Faisal Al-Zubair, who's had many a success in the International GT Open in the past. A swapper from Bateman as they now come through towards the Mistral. And further back, just look at this. Laurent Demeas being joined by Ramirez. Fontana creeping into the mix ever closer as well. Only 1.3 away from Ramirez. But can Bateman hold back the Ferrari that's hunting him down? A stunning view from our camera in the sky as they beckon in towards the Mistral chicane. It looks like Bateman's just about hung on there, Chris.
Yeah, he is for now, just trying to get the car up to speed, trying to find his rhythm. But Al-Faisal Al-Zubair all over him. And you would imagine that the lead will change hands here, because you've got the likes of Demeas in the Ferrari behind.
Fontana in the background.
They are bronze drivers. You expect the pro cars to come through. Suddenly you're thinking that Alex Fontana is in a really strong position here in 5th place. And so cars making their way through. Labousse, Fontana looking to the inside. I would argue that Bateman was looking a little bit wide there, but he's held on to the place for now. Zubair on the flasher, trying to distract Bateman, who used to be a silver class driver. It must be said, he was a pro driver some 20 years ago, though. It took a very long hiatus in his racing career, about 10 years or so. That's why he's now got a bronze status. As we see Fontana trying to get around Marcelo Ramirez here for 4th place, the long way around. And the dive on the inside from Al-Faisal Al-Zubair at Virage DuPont. The Almanar car takes the lead, and Fontana takes 4th place at the same time.
Great move there for Fontana. Obviously, they're going to be yearning for the victory. Great opportunity here for ZRS Motorsport, especially understanding the prowess of Fontana. Fontana. Back comes, though, Bateman looking to recover. Al-Faiz Al-Zubair going defensive just in case he thought about making a move up the inside, but no harm, no foul. It's Al-Zubair who leads the way here at Paul Ricard with 25 minutes and 36 or so to go. Let's have a look at this once again. This is Fontana around the outside here against Marcelo Ramirez and carried the speed through and right at Pont corner, elevated his position to fourth. And now he's a step away from appearing on the podium. And we'll take a look at the move for the lead of the race. There is Al-Faiz Al-Zubair moving past the Blackthorn Aston. Lovely move. But it looked like he had a smart run there, Bateman, on the run down through towards turn one. Just could not quite find the leverage. Now, Fontana has gone past Demeas. So that's third place now. Now, if Fontana does win this race, it will put them a point behind Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin in third in the championship. Obviously, Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin in third. They've retired from the race. 15 points added to the 55. It'll be 1 point the difference between those two.
It's all closing up, isn't it, with Maxi Gertz currently in 7th place, though, so they're not making the inroads on the Toms that you would expect. So Al-Zubair pulling away now, and you would expect Fontana to at least get through on Bateman. And the question is going to be, can Bateman hang on from the likes of Fabian Dibianco, who's the first pro driver currently in the Pro-Am category, and he's 20 seconds behind him. So, but with an awful lot of cars between them, that's the kicker there for Fabian Dibianco in the PTT BMW. So, one to keep an eye out for over the course of the next 24 minutes of racing. You've got Laurent Demeas at the moment, who's got Ramirez, and then Testa and Gertz and Perel. You imagine those guys are all going to come through on that car. So into Virage Dupont there, 24 minutes left on the clock. Fontana closing in on Bateman. The gap was 1 second a moment or two ago. He's put 1.2 seconds on that previous lap, did Alex Fontana. So the gap now 0.7 of a second.
Lorenzo Ferrari hopping into 9th ahead of Schwarzer. So that's an overall place gain, which is exactly what they need to do. They're still hunting after David Perel right now. Fontana, though, on the tail of Charles Bateman as they race down through towards the hotel chicane. And Fontana will love a move like this. This is the kind of thing that he does best, and looks, oh wow, brilliant move up the inside there from Fontana, smoothly does it. Of course, that is not a same class battle. Fontana as part of the pro class now into second overall. His mission now clear. Try and hunt down after Al-Faiz Al-Zubair, and it's getting very fraught here as now it looks like Ramirez has lost out to Rodrigo Testa. In comes Maxi Gertz. He's going to make it a side-by-side affair on the run down through towards the chicane. The two motorpark cars now doing battle over overall position. In comes Gertz surely with that better line. He's going to make this easy on himself and move into P6.
So out of the chicane, Ramirez down to 7th position now, and David Perel waiting in the wings there to try and make the move. Lorenzo Ferrari not too far behind them as well. They've all gone through on Alex Schwarzer.
Lovely move.
So we see the move again here from Alex Fontana for 2nd place. So the gap is 2.6 seconds between Fontana and Al-Faiz Al-Zubair. Will it be a first victory for Almanar since moving partners and teaming up with Dragon Racing after their split with WRT? Or will it be a third victory for Fontana as we see Gertz making the move on to Demeas? We also saw Testa going through there as well. So this is rounding up the bronze-graded driver in front of them.
And David Perel getting past Marcelo Ramirez as well over that P7. So fair play to David for that on the move. And looking to hunt down the rest of them, and indeed they're at it again. Just look at this side by side, and this is the other Ferrari, Lorenzo Ferrari. Perel has gone a bit wide there, and that might cost him, because now he's side by side with Marcelo Ramirez on the run down through towards turn 1. So all of a sudden we've seen a shift. Testa up into 4th, Gertz, Perel, then Demeas, who is dropping down, but he is of course in Pro-Am class. Ramirez losing out. Here comes now at the same time Lorenzo Ferrari. A look around the outside of Ramirez this time. Demeas continues to fall as they now head down through towards the hotel chicane, wheel to wheel on the run down. Surely he'll get that move done, and yes he will. Lorenzo Ferrari now up a place.
Dramas for the AM leader and the championship leader in that category. Adrian Lewandowski, a 12-second time penalty for not serving the handicap correctly, and as it stands that would give Goodspeed the victory. Piotr Vera is 5 seconds behind the AM leader there. And
Oh,
dramas here for Darren Kell as he got caught up there behind Stanislav Jedlinski at the chicane. So the track-focused McLaren going round. That's a little bit further down. 6th position in his category is Darren Kell at the moment. But yeah, the race leader, the championship leader in the AM category with a big time penalty. And that is obviously significant considering that the second place car in that championship is out of the race.
Yeah. So they won't profit off the back of the demise of the other contender to the championship in class. But as we now watch the cars now fly through towards scene, there is the car belonging to Rodrigo Testa being chased down by Maxi Gertz. And they're going to be contesting over 4th spot now as they come through towards the boost.
But this will be a spot on the podium if and when they round up Charles Bateman, which you would imagine they will, unless they are too busy knocking 7 bells out of each other. So this is a potential podium eventually up for grabs here.
Yeah, still 20 minutes to go. So Bateman has got to try and hold on for that entirety of time that they have remaining, which is not going to be easy. But Testa now with a mirror full of what looks to be Maxi Gertz now applying the pressure. Not to mention we got David Perel also part of this as well as they head down through towards Pont Corner. Further back, Lorenzo Ferrari, who's showing a grand deal of pace as well himself. 2:04.621 was his last lap, and he was faster than any other car in front of him, bar of course Fontana, who laid down a personal best on his last lap as well. As they fly down through towards turn 1, there's Bateman now being pursued here by Testa, but Testa with bigger fish to fry as Gertz is now hovering all over the back with Perel for company and Lorenzo Ferrari trying to inch into the mix, and he's carrying along Ramirez and De Meus then 2 seconds behind those. We'll take a look at the gaps over the course of the last few laps, and indeed it was in fact 2 thousandths lost from Rodrigo Testa because he's just simply too busy with Maxi Gertz right now. So if this does become the theme for the next 20 minutes, you never know, it could well find its way into Bateman's favour.
Could well be. Crazier things have happened, haven't they? As those 3 cars making their way onto the Mistral. 1.8 kilometres split up by the turns 8 and 9 chicane. So Gertz still trying to find a way around Rodrigo Testa here. The Lamborghini GT3 Junior driver going up against the Mercedes factory driver there in their battle for 4th place. It's nice to see the Lamborghini really showing some pace. That car has only had 1 podium finish so far this season. That was back at the Spa 500 with a 3rd place finish it was for Testa and Moncini. Yes, it was. So there has been a lot of difficult moments for that car throughout the year. So we've got Charlie Fagg and Mikkel Pedersen here in 6th and 7th in the Pro-Am category. They've got the AM leader, Adrian Lewandowski, in front of them. They've got to round up that car before they can fight some of the other Pro-Am cars, but quite a big gap between them at the moment. Schwarzer is hanging on to the podium for now, but Fabian Di Bianca is 7 seconds behind the Swiss racer there, so the podium spots are definitely up for grabs, but Charles Bateman might be a bit out of reach for those guys.
Yeah, could well be. Time will tell. It does look like Bateman is in a very good position alongside Johnny Adam to take a Pro-Am success as they now come through the first corner once more. Al Zubair still 1.6 seconds ahead of Fontana. I've got to say, got to give credit to Al-Faisal Al Zubair here because it's 2:03.8 was his last lap. Whilst Fontana was quicker, he was only quicker by 3.5 tenths or so. We know, given Fontana's reputation, of how, demonizing he can be on a racetrack, well, I got to give credit to Al-Faisal Al Zubair. He's holding his own here.
You say that, but then he's just lost the same margin in the first sector on this lap. So
commentators curse, that is, Chris.
1.4 the lead gap now. I'll keep an eye on it. Just under 17 minutes still to go, and Fontana is creeping up to the back of our race leader. Bateman's pace is pretty solid as well. He's about a second slower than the cars behind him, but that's what you'd expect. That's well within the window for his racing. So it's 1.2 seconds now between Bateman and the chasing cars, Testa, Gertz, Perel and Ferrari. Yeah,
the problem though for, the good news for Bateman, extending, whilst his pace isn't too bad, it's another thing then for the cars behind to overtake, because they're all busy battling one another over the places that are available. Obviously 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, all squabbling over spots on track. And we've already seen it with Lorenzo Ferrari, for example, who went up the inside trying to get past Laurent de Meus, and then there was a bit of a mishmash then again, obviously, as he tried to get past Marcelo Ramirez. So these entanglements are obviously a problem. The good news now if you're Rodrigo Testa is that Gertz has now fallen off the back of him a little bit now, so he can now focus on what's in front because David Perel has been causing hassle for Maxi Gertz out there.
1.2 the lead gap now, so half a second taken out of the race lead by Alex Fontana last time around. Faisal Al-Zubair is a silver graded driver and a very rapid one as well, the Omani racer. But Fontana, with all of that Porsche experience, the gold-rated Greek-Swiss racer, this is now the battle for the last spot on the overall podium. The Pro-Am leader, Charles Bateman, clinging on for now, but he's got a flurry of pro drivers behind him. Oh no, dramas for the second place car in the AM category that would have inherited the win from Lewandowski's penalty.
Absolutely, Prattle Vera has come to a halt, and that, oh my goodness, okay.
Is that engine or puncture?
Don't think it's a puncture.
He would have tried to carry on, wouldn't he,
yeah.
really, potentially? So maybe just a look up or just smoke out of the rear. Weird one.
Well, it came to a stop, so we'll have to find out. We'll soon see if the car can keep going, but so that's a terrible position for Prattle Vera to be in because Suen Mazur is now past him.
Yeah, yellow flags. He's still there, isn't he? And that's at Le Bousset. That's a quick bit of the racetrack. They may need another safety car in order to get that car out of the way. That'd be disastrous for Charles Bateman if that was the case. Well, let's see. Look at the ZRS crew, the family-run Zambon family-run team. So Pietro Armani, he's almost glued to the screen as he watches his teammate close in on Faisal Al-Zubair. The gap is now under 1 second.
I can't imagine Fontana would want a safety car here at this point either, because whilst he is close to the back of Al-Zubair as it stands, it would invite the likes of Testa, Gertz, Perel, Ferrari all to join in, and it would be an immense squabble. I mean, we'd love to see it as spectators, I'm sure, but for the drivers, disaster.
There's plenty of people on the rooftops now at the main building that would like to see that as well, but we'll see. The car's still stopped there at turn 11. And oh, look at this, the lap traffic now as well. Faisal Al-Zubair coming up on Stanislav Jedlinski. He's got to try and round up that car. Is that going to open up the door for Fontana? He goes either side of the Olymp Ferrari. Has he got a run on him here down towards the hotel chicane?
Schumacher Hakkinen-esque at Spa many years ago. Fontana with the inside at Hotel and takes the lead of the race. Here with 13 minutes to go, ZRS on quest for 3 wins this season. And it's Fontana who rises. And I'm sure the ZRS garage are full of jubilance and delight at the sight of this. Faisal Al-Zubair, grand effort to try and hang on, but it wasn't going to last. And it looks like Testa has got Bateman as well, Chris.
Yep, so that's the change for third position. We'll see the move again, either side of Stanislav Jedlinski on the exit of turn 2. And Faisal Al-Zubair just a little bit wrong-footed, but Fontana able to read the situation very nicely. A lovely round of applause from the ZRS crew. They've got their GT Cup drivers watching along as well, sticking around for the end of this race, but it is now Alex Fontana who leads, and it could well be a third victory of the season. They're second in 3 races.
There's something about race 1 for Pietro Armani here at Paul Ricard. He won race 1 in the GT Cup Europe Championship with ZRS last year, and looks like he's going to do back-to-back in a manner of speaking. By the looks of it, Bateman coming under fire. Gertz has got past as well. Next up will be David Perel, and he's towing along Lorenzo Ferrari at the same time, so we're going to be seeing Bateman dropping down the order. Ramirez is 3.3 seconds back, so that will give Bateman some relief from the likes of Laurent de Meus and Schwarzer further back, as well as Di Bianca. And so we now see Bateman getting overtaken continuously now by David Perel. Lorenzo Ferrari will be next as they now come down in towards the penultimate bend on this racetrack, and through goes Ferrari, and indeed will move up into 6th place as they now make their way through towards the final bend. It is still Alex Fontana though who leads the way. The gap now extending slightly to Faisal Al-Zubair. It's coming out to 6/10, and we've got Rodrigo Testa now 8.1 behind.
But that means that the leader in the Pro-Am category, oh no, there's still 2 cars between them, actually, isn't there?
Charlie Fagg with a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision.
I don't think we saw that one, didn't we? Yeah, second down to 7th in the Pro-Am category at the moment, all Linus third in the timing order. It's Fabian Di Bianco, who's now 2.3 behind Alex Schwarzer for a spot on the Pro-Am podium. Remember, he's the lead pro driver in the Pro-Am category at the moment. The top 3 all started with their quick driver, now have their bronze driver aboard. So it's those 4th onwards that are chasing them down in that category.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. But the race still continues. Alfonso Zuber still remains within 7.5 tenths. The time may be dropping ever so slightly. We know that Fontana has proven to be approximately 3 tenths faster in sectors on the odd occasion and also across a whole lap. Gertz back on the tail, though, of SVC Lamborghini, driven by Rodrigo Testa. And no question, Gertz would love to stick his car onto the podium in a bid to close the gap now to the 2 Toms, who, whilst they may maintain the championship lead come the end of this, it looks ever likely that they will, by some shred of luck. But again, we go back to it. Elite Motorsport, they have no more chances. They've got to take points in every remaining race in order to be, well, to ensure that they're in the title fight come Barcelona at the end of the season. But there is Lorenzo Ferrari. 8 tenths between Perel, 8 tenths between Perel and Gertz. And Gertz now half a second behind Testa, so he's now starting to pressure the SVZ Lamborghini once more. And very defensive-minded there from Testa as they come out of Pont Corner.
So this is the last spot on the podium up for grabs here. And that 3rd place car, Rodrigo Testa, on his last warning for track limits. So not last warning yet, but has been given a warning for track limits, so he can't afford to abuse them too much in these remaining 9 minutes.
Yeah, the black and white flag was showing on the LED sign as we just caught it on camera briefly as they rounded Pont Corner. So yeah, that's going to put added pressure now on Testa, as now we've got Gertz hunting him down as they enter the hotel chicane. And Gertz has got a bit of a mean streak at times when it comes to racing, a hard racer, experienced as well, and that's going to certainly apply the test to Rodrigo Testa as they jet out of this segment of corners in towards Sector 2 proper, where they'll meet the Mistral straight, and that Mercedes Grunt is going to be charged with trying to overtake that SVC Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Another flash of the lights, a twinkle from the green glow, the devilish lights that now seek to overtake Testa for this P3 spot, a spot on the podium at stake here at Paul Ricard. And just look at this, a better exit, I think, there for Gertz, who now looks to try and put the hammer down in pursuit of Testa now as they enter through towards Scene. Very defensive-minded there from Testa. To be expected. A look to the inside again from Gertz, just showing in the mirrors, making sure that Testa knows that he's there. The Bousset could present an opportunity here for this Mercedes car as they now venture through. Testa still trying to defend vehemently right now, keeping a nice tight line as they make their way through, not leaving Gertz any window of opportunity. As now here comes Di Bianco, the young 17-year-old.
This is for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the Pro-Am categories. Laurent Demers, Alexander Schwarzer and Fabian Di Bianco, and Axel Jeffries is on the back of them as well. So the podium places in Pro-Am are still well up for grabs here.
They certainly are. Plenty of drama left to be had. A very defensive line taken again by Testa. Late on the brakes from Maxi Gertz, who looks to try and put the hammer down over 3rd as well. Very nearly a 3-wide affair. We could have yet entered David Perel into the fight, but it looks like we've got all 4 cars in the midst of a scrap. Here comes Lorenzo Ferrari in the background. The luminous yellow stripes on the front end and the trim there alongside the red on that Ferrari. It's wheel-to-wheel though between Gertz and Testa. Gertz with the better line now moves through into 3rd place. Brilliant move there for the Motor Park Mercedes, but it's wheel-to-wheel between the 2 Ferraris as well. Perel as well as Lorenzo Ferrari up the inside. They'll come down towards the hotel. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? It's Lorenzo Ferrari with a nose and a car now in front as they head down in towards the heavy braking zone, covering off the approach from David Perel and confirming his place now in 5th.
A couple of centimetres between the 2, of course, the teammates there. Brilliant stuff between those 2. But look at it, was so late on the brakes there. And look, Perel had the dive on the inside as well. So that was, very briefly, 3 abreast. I do wonder what Race Control is going to make of the move from Gertz, though. He looked like he backed off. Was he fully behind the Lamborghini before he then went for the move again? We'll see. if I were SVC, though, I would be disputing that 100% because that's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
But for now, it's Maxi Gertz in third position, and but it was brilliant. A brilliant move there from Maxi Gertz, and Tesla's done so well to fend him off for so long. That staunch defence of third position does now come to an end.
Well, this is it. I think Gertz obviously spent a grand deal of time behind Testa's SVC Lamborghini to the point where he thought, well, I need to try something a little bit extraordinary in order to undo this. And he did, and it's paid off. Third place now in their hands as now Perel once again comes in close contact with David Perel Ferrari.
We've had the change for second and third in Pro-Am, by the way. Both Fabian Di Bianca and Axel Jeffries have gone through on Laurent de Meus and Alexander Schwarzer. So that is Di Bianca in the PTT BMW and Jeffries in the Into Africa by Dragon Racing Ferrari in second and third now in the Pro-Am category. So it'll be 2 podium finishes for the Dragon Racing squad if it were to end like this.
And for PTT, they're on for their best finish of the season in terms of their class. And,
yes, because they had third, didn't they? It's their only podium in Misano.
So they're already on for second, and you never know. I mean, granted, we've got 4 minutes and 45 left. If anything was to happen to Charles Bateman, obviously, you never know. Could be their first win of the season. And bear in mind, Di Bianca, we talk about young drivers, 17 years old, Chris. Still a young man.
I think he has turned 18 now, actually.
May have turned 18 through the course of the season.
I think he is now of legal drinking age in the European Union at the very least. But yes, a very young driver coming through the ranks of PTT from Porsche 1 make competition now into GT3 competition in the BMW. And 13 seconds behind the next car, so about 16 behind the class leader. So it would take an extraordinary effort or something extraordinary for Di Bianca to take the win here, or some rotten luck for Charles Bateman with 4 minutes left on the clock. But that is holding on for now, and I'm also keeping an eye, side by side further back. Oh, contact there with Darren Kell at Scene Corner with Alfredo Hernandez, and clipped the rear wings there as well. So a little bit of drama over at Scene Corner, and that is Darren Kell's second drama of the day. And speaking of the AM category, Suin Mazur too far away to benefit from Lewandowski's penalty, so it does look like the championship leader there is going to take a second victory of the season in the AM category.
Yeah, it's a big result for them. But Fontana, 3 minutes or so to go, still holding on to his lead right now. Flash of the lights as he looks to make the back markers aware. This is Darren Kell, who got unfortunately upended coming through Scene Corner. And Fontana just keen to get past because he doesn't want to be held up too much, doesn't want to give or offer an invitation to Al-Faisal Zubair to come straight back at him, because a win is massive for ZRS. It brings them just a point behind the Greystone GT partnership of Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin as they now whip through. What this does mean, of course, is that, you know, unless they score tomorrow, Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin will still be level on points going into Sunday. So make of that what you will anyway. But here is Alfredo Hernandez and up the inside of Darren Kell. Now, one of them had a chunk taken out of their rear spoiler as they made contact, and I'm wondering if it was on Hernandez. Yeah, I think it was Hernandez's.
Yeah, I think so. Just the right-hand element has gone there, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's not going to help the air, I suppose, in a way.
I don't think it's going to make too much difference to him.
No, probably not.
Do you know what I say? That Suin Mazur might not benefit from Lewandowski's penalty. He's suddenly much, much closer. The gap is 15 seconds, but if it continues to close in at the rate it did on the previous lap, then Suin Mazur will inherit his first win in the AM category here. So we'll keep an eye out on that with, we've got a lap to go after this.
It was 3 seconds over the last lap, the difference between the two of them.
Yeah. So, I think Lewandowski was being passed by Ollie Webb. That was probably a contributing factor there, but the gap's still coming down, 14.6 seconds now. Another 0.6 of a second, and Suin Mazur will have his first win.
Yeah, it's on. It is very much on. Wait and see whether that is achieved. Obviously, a minute and 25 or so to go. Very close between David Perel and, at the same time, Lorenzo Ferrari. Ferrari holding on to fifth. Perel up the inside now as they look to contest. Contact between them as they come through Bend Door. Now that has left Lorenzo Ferrari going out wide. David Perel very keen. I think is actually backed off there. Obviously did not want to inherit the place owing to potentially enforcing Ferrari off track. Let's have a look at this again. very, very tight between these two. The initial move was brave. There was a little bit of contact there, and it was enough to send Lorenzo Ferrari slightly wide, and therefore, coming out of bend door, I mean, credit to David Perrell, he did not leap on the opportunity as such and remain behind, because he knew probably that he would have been asked to give that place back. But we now watch Alex Fontana undertake the final lap. ZRS looking squarely in the face of their third race win of the season. And what a performance from a young team, a family team, with all smiles in the garage as they look to welcome him home.
Extraordinary effort. I mean, we were amazed when Elite Motorsport won one race last year, their first year of GT3 competition. And here is ZRS. They're about to win a third race here in only the fifth meeting of the season. But that's an extraordinary effort from this team.
Absolutely massive as far as their championship credentials are concerned. It brings them, as I said, a point behind third place sitters Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin. It's so important.
And fair play, Faisal Al-Zubair has stuck to the back of that Porsche ever since Fontana got past him. So it's been a mighty, mighty effort from the Almanar driver as well. They are going to take, I think, what will be their first podium since partnering with the Dragon Racing squad.
Yeah. Alex Fontana, though, dodging and weaving around the back markers in the closing stages of this race. Out of bend door through towards Garlaban. He will go. Penultimate corner will soon lie in wait before a trip around pond for the final time here on Saturday. It has been an illustrious return to the top step for a young team from Italia, now looking to chase down their third win of the season. It's looking ever so likely. It's looking certain. It's Alex Fontana. He wins at Paul Ricard here in race one. Now a point behind Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin in the championship in third place. They'll still hold on to fourth, but this will give them a huge boost of confidence. Faisal Al-Zubair, grandiose drive there in second, alongside Ben Tuck. They'll remain in second place. Maxi Gertz taking third, a drag race up towards the line. By the looks of it, I think that's the Lewandowski car along. Oh no, Alessandro Bolzan, the Rinaldi Racing team, side by side there with Marcelo Ramirez. But nevertheless, Charles Bateman coming home in seventh, and the winner in Pro-Am class. Axel Jeffries, second in Pro-Am. Fabian Dibionka, third in Pro-Am come the end of all that. And we're still waiting on the AM class situation. And it looks like Suin Mazur is within 14 seconds, Chris.
He is at the moment. His first victory for Charles Bateman since the first meeting of the season in Portimao. Johnny Adams at first, because it was Enrique Chavez who was sharing the car with back then. We wait for Adrian Lewandowski to cross the line and see how far behind. So Lewandowski is across the line. How far behind is Suin Mazur? Because Lewandowski has got a 14-second time penalty. Don't forget, it was 13.6 when they went through the last timing split at the end of Sector 2 on the lap. And no, he's missed out. He's missed out by 0.8 of a second in the end. So it is a second victory for Baron Motorsport.
Brilliant stuff for Adrian Lewandowski. Winners in AM class are the two Lewandowskis, but it's Fontana, who I'm sure is elated in the cockpit.
What we do have as well, though, is a first podium for Alfredo Hernandez in the AM category.
It's a great result there for his team, Grupo Prom. But let's have a look at the final classification. It's Pietro Armani and Alex Fontana for the third time this season. They are race winners. ZRS will be absolutely thrilled with that. They finish 1 second ahead of Faisal Al-Zubair and Ben Tuck. And then it's Mansell and Gertz who stand on the podium in third. Moncini and Testa in fourth. Yaroslav Veselajo and Lorenzo Ferrari finish in fifth ahead of Rafael Duran and David Perrell. Charles Bateman, Johnny Adam, winners in Pro-Am class. Brilliant result ahead of Dylan Medler as well as Bolzan as well. Ramirez finishing further back with Axel Jeffries. Fabian Dibionka 11th and Pro-Am P3 behind Jeffries. Alexander Schwarzer, Lauren DeMeas, then Philip Salicada, Charlie Fagg, then Mikael Pedersen with Oliver Webb down in 17th. Adrian Lewandowski, AM class winner ahead of Suin Mazur by 0.8 after the penalty was issued. Alfredo Hernandez in 20th and AM P3, his first podium in AM class. Darren Kell in 21st ahead of Stanislav Jedlinski. Puerto Vera, of course, in 23rd. And we lost Joseph Loke, Michael Blanchimon, and the sea of others at the start of the race after that massive crash at the very beginning. This is how the championship looks. The points gap has shrunk. Tom Emson, Tom Leben remain on 87 after retiring on the opening lap. Christian Mansell, Maxi Goetz 3 points off the leaders. It is very much on, this entire championship up for grabs. It's 1 point though, separating Alex Fontana, Pietro Armani, to Dean McDonald and Zach Meakin. So the top 4 spots in the championship alive and kicking. We could have a vastly different complexion before the season is over. And in between, of course, Barcelona and now, we've still got the likes of Hockenheim and Monza to come. And Monza offering a 500-kilometer race as well at the same time. But here at Paul Ricard, more action to come. We could still yet see the championship change hands, or the championship lead change hands tomorrow. It's all there for the taking as the 911 gets moved to its first place board. A round of applause from the ZRS team and connections involved with this fantastic family team. Immediately, Pietro Armani goes across to celebrate with Fontana, and he loves every bit of it. Alex Fontana, Pietro Armani, winners for the 3rd time this season. That's what it means. Immense passion. Alfaisal Zubair certainly has not disgraced himself today. A phenomenal performance.
And one of the first to congratulate Alex on the win there as well.
He's a good sport.
Absolutely. That was a great drive from Alfaisal Zubair in that race. Nothing to be ashamed of there at all. Lots of hugs and celebrations, and the teammates, Lewandowski going to congratulate Alfaisal.
Brilliant stuff. Fantastic. And yeah, obviously a lot of happiness elsewhere. Fontana conversing with his fellow team.
I did not realise that Alex wore glasses in the car. Or maybe they're just shades. Maybe he hasn't got a tinted visor. I've never noticed that before.
Obviously, maybe to protect against the glare, because it is obviously very bright out there.
They're clear lenses. I've never noticed that Alex needs glasses.
Yeah. Because I knew him from the other races. Very good. But he was doing very good.
Well, Ben Tuck going across to congratulate Fontana. And what a race.
I think he was talking about the Stanislav moment there,
Yeah.
saying, I know that Stanislav is very slow from the other races. And,
Yeah.
sorry, it sounds like I'm being really mean to Stanislav, the 79-year-old at the wheel.
Well, bear in mind, he is in AM class as well, so
yes, exactly.
Reality's got to strike at some point.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about there. But yeah, great stuff. Oh, come on, Alfaisal, speak up. We want to eavesdrop. Well, we can hear the party has already begun on the rooftop, and wow, look at the people have already amassed there for the frivolities that will go on into the night here at Circuit Paul Ricard.
Very civilized and very illustrative of the current situation. The elite Ferrari getting just pushed down the pit lane at the moment. Obviously, there's going to be some work done, I'd imagine, overnight by Eddie Ives' team. They still remain championship leaders, so not all is lost. But one thing that is lost is any safety net of an additional nil points scoring round. And that can be a massive difference maker when it comes to winning a championship.
Absolutely. Still waiting for Maxi Goetz's motorpark car to arrive into the Parc Fermé.
Yeah, it's not still arrived yet.
They didn't get the memo where they were supposed to park.
Well, celebrations will continue. We'll take you through the top 3. It's Christian Mansell, Maxi Goetz, who finished 3rd for Motorpark Mercedes. Probably would have wanted more, but Alfaisal Zubair on his return to the championship alongside Ben Tuck here at Paul Ricard take a brilliant second. They led for a majority portion, but in came Alex Fontana alongside Pietro Armani, winners for the 3rd time, and they're with Alfredo.
Well, Pietro Armani, Alex Fontana, 3rd win of the season. It's becoming serious in a very tough race.
Yeah. This one was not easy for us because this track is not a Porsche track. I mean, with the BOP we are not, in a good condition compared to the other cars. But we did a he did a great job because I did just 5 laps in the start because of a crash in the first lap. But yeah, he made a crazy job, impressive.
And Alex, you had to sweat the overall today.
Yeah, I had to work quite hard. I mean, Pietro did a great start. In the previous rounds, he was losing a few positions. Today, the target was to not lose any, maybe gain, which he did. So then we got a bit lucky with the safety car, not because he's not fast, but because we didn't want to lose the ground from the leader while fighting other people, because we were starting P9, so for sure we were going to fight. And the safety car helped us a little bit. Every car suits a track. GT3 is beautiful for this, different speed, different condition. We did the best with the package we had. In race pace, it was strong, maybe a bit less so in quali, but I think we maximized what we had today.
Well done, guys, and it's good for the championship. Enjoy it. Complimenti.
Measured performance indeed. Let's have a look and see what happened in that very chaotic start here in race 1 in the International GT Open. Great start indeed by the Blackthorn Aston Martin, but it was chaos that ensued behind that really caused a stir. We run on board here with the AF Corsa car after the big crash in owing to Dexter Muller's spin, and it collected numerous cars, including, for example, the Santalock Audi, among many others as well. We then later lost the Greystone GT McLaren. It had gone onto the curb and seemingly a little touch with Ben Tuck in the first sector, leading to the rear left or rear right puncture on the car as it made its way off the track, leading to a retirement for them. Eventually the driver change window came into play, and it would once again be Blackthorn in pursuit of a potential Pro-Am win, and later they would be successful. They would be overtaken by a sea of pro cars. Of course, the likes of Alfaisal Al-Zubair eventually finding himself up at the very front. Alex Fontana looking to do the same, brushing past Charles Bateman as he made his way through out of the hotel section and in towards Sector 2. Then later, we witnessed the battle for the lead between Alfaisal Al-Zubair, who put up a stout defence against Alex Fontana. Fontana, though, with a better line into the hotel chicane, masterclassing the move and securing ZRS's place at the front. A battle would continue, though, further back over P3. Maxi Gertz in the closing stages, getting past Rodrigo Testa, with then later the two Ferraris brushing shoulders. It would lead, though, however, to Fontana and Armani capturing their 3rd win of the season in fantastic style, and throws them just 1 point behind Greystone GT in the championship. And now we turn our attention to the podium celebrations, and obviously a great moment for ZRS back in the winners column. Again, Christian Mansell walking across with Maxi Gertz. They will take their step on the 3rd spot on the podium. Obviously back again in amongst the top 3. Here are Motor Park. All smiles on the face of Maxi Gertz, and indeed for Christian Mansell as well. Pats on the back shared between them. 2nd place, Alfaisal Al-Zubair on his return to the International GT Open alongside Ben Tuck for this one. Great to have him back as always. I would love to see him compete in a full entry. Of course, he does a lot of racing throughout the year, does Alfaisal Al-Zubair. He loves this sport and is a true sportsman and always kind when you approach him in the paddock. Lovely character. And Ben Tuck alongside him, obviously a fantastic sportsman, fantastic driver himself. Alex Fontana, Pietro Armani, the heroes today. Armani, a winner at Paul Ricard in back-to-back years after winning in the GT Cup Europe last season in race 1. He's just done it again here in the International GT Open. Well done, ZRS. We'll now have, very soon, the national anthem. Well, the Italian national anthem rings out here at Le Castellet in celebration of ZRS's achievements here today. The Michelin representative will now deliver the 3rd place trophies to Christian Mansell, Maxi Gertz, and they will lift those aloft Obviously Mansell ever growing into the GT3 side of the sport. And these two far from out of this championship at the moment. The top four is certainly a gripping situation at the moment. Alfazal Zubair, Ben Tuck, great performance on their return. They'll be back again tomorrow. Of course, they will have a handicap to serve. Jesus Pereira, Championship CEO of GT Sport Organisation, winning trophies being given to ZRS. Altogether, good start to the weekend, Chris.
Second win in 3 races, third podium in 4 races for that ZRS crew as well. Mighty, mighty effort. Also a 5th podium for Team Motorpark this year in the 71 crew. Really great to see Almanar back on the podium as well. I believe they're first in any competition since partnering with Dragon Racing. So really great to see Alfazal Zubair back in the championship. I share your sentiment. I'd love him to do a full campaign as well, find some time in that busy old schedule of his. But yes, a very good start to the weekend. A lot of dramas in the championship, a lot of dramas out there on the track as well. Thoroughly enjoyable race, but we've got some maths to do in terms of the various championship standings. We've seen the overall, but both Pro-Am and Am have had big hitters today.
They've had some huge hitters. I think obviously the biggest significance today as far as the pro concern is obviously Elite Motorsport, because whilst they still remain in the championship lead, the points gap has shrunk significantly, Chris, to 3, which now means that obviously they need to be faultless for the rest of the season.
Pressure's on them, isn't it, really? Real shame to see. Hopefully we can get some answers as to what specifically happened with that car, because it was incredibly bizarre to see the championship leader just parked up at the side of the road with seemingly another mechanical failure. But we'll come back tomorrow morning with the news on that one. So we will shortly be going to the Pro-Am podium, and it is the Blackthorn Aston Martin that's victorious for the 2nd time in the International GT Open, their first season here in the championship, and the first for Johnny Adam alongside Charles Bateman, the Aston Martin factory driver. And I think we've got 2 more rounds with Johnny before the clashes with the World Endurance Championship, although their calendar reshuffles may well mean that we see a little bit more of Enrique Chavez later on in the season.
Well, Chavez obviously came out with a very well. I think, what was it? Did he win back at in Pro-Am?
Yeah, they won.
I think it was in his first weekend. I think his only weekend.
So we missed this because Axel Jeffries seemingly passed Fabian Di Bianca in the latter stages of the race. So it is still, though, a 2nd podium finish for PTT in the Pro-Am category.
Matching their best result of 3rd.
Yep, and Khalid Larka, that's got to be his best finish in a GT Open race. I believe it is. I think he's not been on the podium before, has he?
No, and you've got to think, it's actually a tremendous recovery from Khalil Larka, because he got spun at the start. Obviously, in the midst of that big melee we had after Dexter Muller's spin. But, yeah, Bateman and Adam on the top step. Michelin representative presenting the 3rd place trophies to the PTT BMW team. And Fabian Di Bianca, young character who's got a long way to go, that's for sure. 2nd place trophies going to the Dragon Racing outfit. Khalil Larka, Axel Jeffries. Incredible stuff indeed. Michelin representative presenting the Pro-Am winners, Charles Bateman and Johnny Adam, on the top step of the podium. Another fantastic performance for Blackthorn.
Mighty, mighty effort indeed, as it's a 2nd victory for them, and closing in on the championship leader, who of course was 4th in the end for Alexander Schwarzer and Alexander Fack, but the 2nd place car out of the race in that big turn 2 melee. So Pro-Am Championship's going to be looking very, very different indeed. As the celebrations on the podium erupt with the champagne, and yeah, well done to Khalid Larka as well. Best finish in the International GT Open. Matching result as well for PTT as well, as we mentioned. Another 3rd place finish for them. So just 1 podium left, and it's one that came down to just 0.8 of a second on corrected times. And we have, a couple of things to celebrate there, because Alfredo Hernandez, his first podium in GT Open, I believe. He didn't pick one up last year, did he? No, wait, yes, of course. So he picked one up he was showing the car with Stefan Tribordini, wasn't he, as well? And actually had a podium at this race last year as well. But his first of the season for the Mexican driver.
Yeah. Was in the midst of a big squabble with Darren Kell, which obviously led to Kell actually getting spun at turn 10, coming out of Scene Corner. We saw the end plate of that rear spoiler get ripped away on Hernandez's car.
And for Suin Mazur, this is back-to-back second-place finishes. He got his first podium last time out in Budapest, and now back-to-back second-place finishes for the Polish driver. But sneaking through, despite that 14-second time penalty, the Lewandowskis, the championship leaders, extending their advantage.
They're looking good value for the AM Championship again, and I've got to say, it's been a very, very strong performance this season from them, and that doesn't seem to show any signs of stopping. Congratulations to Alfredo Hernandez, third-place trophy presented to them. We'll then have the Michelin representative offer the second-place trophy to Suin Mazur, who was a hair's breadth away from potentially winning this race in AM class. But today it would go to the Lewandowskis. They've got this one in the bag, like many before it. But there we have it. What a tremendous visit for race one here at Paul Ricard. Don't go away, because we're just getting started. Much more action to come as we head into tomorrow. Don't forget to join us for qualifying tomorrow morning. But from all of us here, for now, it's goodbye.